Hi, welcome to my video format Market Outlook for the week ahead. I'm Vijay Bambwani and I'm going to discuss with you what is likely to be expected from the market in terms of ranges, what stocks to trade, and the dollar, the bond index, and the pull and push of various asset classes. So last week, the markets continued their gravity-defying moves, and both the indices notched gains. Although it was a Nifty that relatively outperformed the Bank Nifty, as I had advocated that the Nifty is broader based thanks to the composition that it has 50 stocks in the index, whereas the Bank Nifty is made up of 10 stocks. So as you can see on your screen of the weekly market roundup, what we have basically seen safe haven buying returning to bullion, which is gold and silver. The positive aspect was that the US dollar continued to be weak along with natural gas, which is good for emerging markets, especially India. And the negative aspect was that oil prices actually rallied. Bond yields remain unchanged, and the market-wide MWPL, which is the market-wide position limit, rose to 20.93% from 17.62% on a week-on-week basis. Coming up on your screen is the chart of the MWPL, and it very clearly shows the MWPL rising, which is natural after an expiry, but the rise is far more slower as compared to its previous weeks and previous months, And even though the prices in absolute terms on the indices have risen, the MWPL actually is rising far more slowly. It also may be due to the tweaking of the margin systems, wherein peak margins have come into effect from 1st of December onwards, so that may also be a causative factor. The basis chart which comes up on your screen shows the basis expanding sharply for both indices, but the Bank Nifty basis has expanded far more strongly due to the short covering on declines. And the volumes chart on your screen tells you that trader participation is easing off at higher levels because retail seems to be a little skeptical, and the rally is definitely seeing indices levels rising, but partly maybe due to the margin system, partly due to a lack of conviction levels, especially above the round number that the Nifty has crossed over of 13,000. I see that retail participation is easing off a bit. I think you need to keep your ears to the ground and watch this space in the coming weeks because it has a very big impact, as I will discuss in the indices section. The market roundup done, I now take you to the 10-year benchmark bond yield. As I've continuously reminded you, the bond market is the fountainhead of money. This is the money supply which filters down to the other asset classes and therefore impacts how the trade in other asset classes will be. The bond yield seems to have stabilized at 5.9%, as you can see on your screen. And the RBI has basically indicated in its recent press conference that it would prefer to target a higher growth rather than focus on taming inflation, which means that the government is likely to issue more bonds, mop up more money, and therefore allow the fiscal deficit to go a little higher. That eased the bond prices, and the yields therefore have gone above or gone at the 5.90 mark. The bond markets have a direct bearing on banking stocks, which is why the Bank Nifty has basically been subdued in the last week. If bond yields remain above the 5.90% and go even up to 5.95%, I would expect the pressure on the Bank Nifty to escalate. So we'll keep revisiting this space in the coming weeks, and we now go to the DXY, the US dollar index, And as I've continuously reminded you in my videos, a weak dollar is extremely beneficial to the emerging markets, especially India, because we nurse a lot of foreign debt, interest on which is payable in dollars, and a weak dollar means we have to pay out fewer rupees. We are also net importers, and therefore a weak dollar means our imports become a bit cheaper. So as you can see on your screen, the US dollar index has actually fallen 4 out of 5 sessions, and it lost 1.19% on a week-on-week basis. The fall has taken it to the lows of the third week of March 2020, and the price remains below its 25-day exponential moving average, which is at 92.12, as you can see on your screen. Unless this hurdle is overcome, dollar bulls are likely to remain at a disadvantage, and a weak dollar will basically push up the Indian equity markets. Last week, I advocated a possible range between 93.10 on the upside and 90.5 on the downside, which held. The coming week is likely to see a possible range. I'm emphasizing on the word possible here, between 92 on the upside and 89.40 on the downside. Watch this index for signs of oil, gas and bullion price trends in the coming week, because the US dollar index is inversely correlated with these assets. A weak dollar actually sees higher commodity prices. The dollar index done, I now take you to the Bank Nifty. Now, this index actually gained 1.5% on a week-on-week basis, and it rose on 2 out of 4 trading sessions. As you can see on your screen, the declines were more prominent than the rallies, and the noteworthy fact is that the swing high of 30,198 made on the 25th of November 2020 still remains inviolate as a hurdle. Only if the bulls manage to take the index above and keep it trading sustainably above the 30,198 mark will they have a clear domination over the bears. In the week prior to last, this index ranked number 4 on the most volatile list, whereas last week the index has fallen 1 notch to number 5. It's not just because the volatility has fallen on this index, but because there are some stocks which have shown higher beta as compared to this index, which is why the index has fallen on the volatility list. The intraday and the intra-week trading ranges has contracted on the Bank Nifty, as you can see on your screen, and that has basically also played out on controlling the beta. The weekly chart of the Bank Nifty, which you can see on your screen, shows a hammer forming, which means there was a tussle between the bulls and bears, and so far so good. The bulls have managed to regain control from the bears, but the hammer is basically giving you a mild sign of caution that the bulls are not really totally and undoubtedly in command. They are now basically encountering some resistance from the sellers. Last week, I advocated a range between 31,250 on the upside and 27,975 on the downside, which held. In the coming week, I expect an estimated, I emphasize on the word estimated here, I expect an estimated range between 31,625 on the upside and 28,475 on the downside. I expect traded volumes to remain mildly subdued in the week ahead, and that may raise the impact cost a little bit. Now, this is particularly relevant to my friends who resort to deploying statistical models or systems models to determine what counters and at what prices and which direction they should trade. Basically, blue or gray box traders. Now, if you are a systems trader, you need to tweak your trading systems mildly because impact costs might just go up, and Unless you tweak your systems, you might even see your order trade fills getting impacted adversely. And I would suggest trading on somewhat lighter volumes because there is likely to be a certain amount of uncertainty in the markets. Friends, let's now go to the most liquid counter in the markets out there, the Nifty 50. And as you can see on your screen, the Nifty has relatively outperformed the Bank Nifty last week due to its broader composition. And this outperformance is possibly likely to extend to the coming week also. Last week I advocated that the bulls would have to keep the Nifty above the previous swing high of 25th November, which was actually at 13,145, but my mistake, my bad. I mistyped it to 13,415. I apologize. I'm terribly sorry. I'll see to it that these typing errors are taken care of in the future. So the 13,145 level was overcome, and in the coming week also the bulls will need to keep the Nifty trading above this threshold. As long as this threshold remains defended on declines, I think all is okay. And as far as the Nifty's moving average is concerned, the price has remained above its 25-day moving average, which is likely to provide some amount of support in the downsides. And the price staying above the exponential moving average basically says that the bulls are still comfortable, they are still buying. And as far as the ranking on the volatility index is concerned, the Nifty 50 in the year before last was at number 10 on the most volatile list. Last week, it rose to number 9, which means the volatility on this index actually went up one notch. You need to watch out now because higher volatility is always a little bit of a red flag for traders who don't know how to react quickly enough. So you'll have to be really nimble-footed in the Nifty 50 in the coming week. As you can see on the weekly chart of the Nifty on your screen right now, the weekly candles made in the recent weeks of the Nifty seem to be a lot more convincing than the Bank Nifty. The Bank Nifty actually showed a hammer. It showed signs of contraction in the daily and weekly ranges, whereas the Nifty chart is actually continuing to show a good deal of intraday and intra-week ranges. Last week I advocated a possible range between 13,400 on the upside and 12,550 on the downside, which held. In the coming week, I may see a possible, I'm emphasizing on the word possible here, a range between 13,675 on the upside and 12,850 on the downside. Like the Bank Nifty, the Nifty too logged some declines in volumes, but it may not see a commensurate or an equal amount of rise in impact cost because it is a lot more liquid than the Bank Nifty. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this is the biggest advantage that the Nifty enjoys above the Bank Nifty for systems traders because it does not really become as illiquid as the Bank Nifty on a relative comparative basis. The rising statistical beta on the Nifty 50, on the Nifty 50 demands that here again, you should keep your traded exposure lighter as compared to the last week and trade even more cautiously. The indices having been done and dusted, I now take you to the stocks that you might want to trade in the coming week. For those of my friends who are high beta, high impetus traders, which means who take smaller exposure but expect larger price swings and therefore are a little more patient and might even roll over their trades to the coming trading session, the high beta, high impetus stock list is led by Asian Paint at number 1, number 2 Sun Pharma, number 3 Maruti, number 4 DLF, and number 5 Z Entertainment. The low beta, low impetus stock list wherein the trader might want to take a high amount of exposure, wait for a very small price swing and flip the trade over. And these are typically for intraday traders, maybe even for micro trend or micro scalp traders, which means traders who wait no more than 5 to 60 minutes before the trade is flipped, even though the stop loss is not hit. Now, these low beta, low impetus stock list is led by Bajaj Finserv at number 1, Larsen & Toubro at number 2, Power Grid Corporation at number 3, Bajaj Finance at number 4, and Mahindra on number 5. Friends, in the coming week, there is likely to be a relatively higher number of economic data announcements, which means data-related volatility might just go up in the markets. Now, this is something you need to be aware of and adjust your trading regimen accordingly. Coming up on your screen is a list of my contact coordinates on social media. I wish you would make a connection here. Let's start conversations going. I put up a lot of stuff at the end of the day, Monday to Friday, post-close in the trading hours, video links, etc. And a lot of statistical output as per my model to help you determine where the markets are likely to be. We can communicate and get ideas flowing. So if you feel like, you may connect with me on social media. Do take very good care of your trades and investments. I wish you an extremely profitable week ahead. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to click like on this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. Click on the bell icon. And hey, spread the knowledge if you agree with what I said. Refer this video to your family and friends. Help me spread out to like-minded traders out there. This is Vijay Bambwani signing off for this week. Till we meet again in my next video. Bye-bye and thank you for watching.